So you want to change a habit. How bad do you want it? You see, I was just thinking about people and about myself first, and then I started thinking about people, like how they would think, because I was talking about like kratom for me. I have a habit of using this thing called kratom, and I'm finally over the 2 week mark of not using it for the first time ever since 2018. And then I thought, well, what about people on heroin? Or what about people that drink every day? What about people smoking cigarettes? Is it the same as kratom? You know, because my mind is telling me that, oh yeah, it's easy now because I did it. It's easy, but it's it's not easy. Like I've been down on myself since February of 22 or 23, and I'm like, now that I've finally like, I'm only 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks in, 2.5 weeks, and now I'm discrediting all the effort that I put into it by saying, I mean, first of all, I can't compare this to a major like substance, I can compare it to a habit that's been going on for 6 or 7 years. I can compare it a little bit to some of the other substances out there. Yes, I can. I can compare it to food addiction. I mean, it's all like, if I say it to somebody that's got a problem with food, they'll tell me, no, you got to eat. No, 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 no. I don't. No, it's no, no. It's nothing like being an addict. It's not like a drug addict. No, I'm not like a drug addict. And I didn't say they were. I'm saying that the behavior, the thing behind it, the mechanism, it's the same thing. If it's not the same thing, it's really, really close. And I say this because I've had a problem with both. So but they don't. So they don't see the similarity of it. But if you really want something, why can't a lot of us just change it right now, like instantly? I need to start putting this on a tripod. I'm tired of this. Anyway, let's get to the point here. So my point was, why is it so hard to stop doing a habit? I mean, aren't you in control? You're out of control. You can't control yourself. That's what's going on. You've lost control. Absolutely. Do you agree with me? Yeah. I think we've lost control. We don't have control of ourselves. And that's what makes us feel down. But here's what I want to say. Aren't you the driver? And isn't this body the vehicle? So if you're steering the vehicle, what's going on underneath here that causes us to continue to consume, to perform certain activities or behaviors that we are really kind of tired of doing, that we really don't have the finances for, that we'd feel better about ourselves if we weren't eating so much and packing the weight on, or overindulging in sugar, like everything. I think a lot of us do. There's something going on behind it. Whether it's the mind learns and establishes neural connections. As Dr. Joe Dispenza says, things that fire together, neurons that fire together, wire together. And it's kind of like if like when you're learning something, when you finally got it, like, oh, I got it. You study for something and you know it. Now you know it by heart. You did it enough times to create the connection, to where you don't even have to think about it anymore. Like, for instance, sometimes when you drove to work and oh shoot, I just passed the turn. I didn't even realize I was over here. You were daydreaming or thinking about some problem or something Joe pissed you off at work, and you were thinking about it, and your subconscious took over. And that's the power of routine. That's the neural connection there. I might be saying this incorrectly right now. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I should be in bed, but I had to make it. This was just a thought. And sometimes I just have to get up, because if not, tomorrow, this is gone. And I won't remember it. Because I could write a little note down, but it just wouldn't be as in-depth for me. So this is how I capture those thoughts. Anyway, I really think that those things are fired, they're wired. It's hard to break that connection. It's so strong that you don't even have to think about it anymore for it to happen. Do you think about putting a cigarette to your mouth? I mean, you might think of the cigarette, but and you're just thinking about your problems, and you're just thinking about your problems and driving, and you're not even paying attention to the cigarette or anything. You're just in your own world. That's the power of the mind, those connections. So that, studying, learning, when you continue to perform and practice a certain way, activity, routine, you establish these connections. Your mind doesn't see it as good or bad. And if it's something that stimulates the mind, yeah, it wants more of it. And that substance that you stimulate the body with changes the body, the way it functions. And so that becomes normal. It's homeostasis. That's the body's at its, where everything's running right. Homeostasis, nice and where we should be, And then when you take that stuff away and you quit doing it, the body's, you withdraw, you binge on food, you do all kind of things. Anyway, the moral of the story was, we are the driver of the ship, and we are the ship. We are in control. We created those habits, and we created them over time, not overnight. So, with that being said, we didn't get here overnight. We ain't getting back overnight either. So, it may take you quite a while. I promise you though, if you've been someone that's been doing something for 20 or 30 years, it won't take 20 or 30 years to change. But it might take 2 before you start to see a change. Okay? So if you start today, 2 years or less, you could have what you want. Or maybe you might be a whippersnapper and you might have it next week. With that being said, once again, I gotta go before I say with that being said again. Shit, I just said it again. Did I say it again? Okay, I'm tired. Have a good night. Jeremy's Closet out. Peace and love.